The confirmation of the recovery in the eurozone in Q1 at 0.4% after 0.3% in Q4 is a very good news at more than one level. Hello and welcome to the new issue of EcoTV Week. The first good news is that France and Spain have been the leaders of the European pack in the first quarter. The second good news is the fact that Italy is pulling out from recession in Q1. The third news is the fact that Germany has slowed in Q1. Behind the slowdown from 0.7% in Q4 to 0.3% in Q1, there is a good news. The fact that internal demand is the major factor of this slowdown. Of course, internal demand has been the major factor which has backed the economic recovery, but in the same time, it has also limited it. First of all, external trade has trimmed off 0.2 percentage points of growth in Q1, as imports were very dynamic and much more dynamic than exports. Secondly, the corporates were probably surprised by the vigor of the demand, so that they were obliged to dip into their stocks. Consequently, the variation in inventories trimmed off 0.2 percentage points to growth in Q1. So internal demand was very dynamic in Q1, up 0.5%. First of all, household consumption was as dynamic as it was in Q4. Indeed, the very low inflation and the quasi-full employment situation on the job market were major factors behind the dynamism of household consumption. On the other hand, private investment accelerated markedly from 0.8% in Q4 to 1.5% in Q1. In the coming months, private investment should continue to back economic growth as long as monetary and financial conditions remain very loose and as there is an urgent need for the replacement of output capacity and infrastructure. For months, European leaders have demanded Germany to rebalance its economic model in a more cooperative manner, so that internal demand backs more economic growth, and in the same time, external trade should play a minor role. This time, it looks like they have been finally heard. This week, financial markets will focus on the job report in the US for May, which will be published on Friday, and in the eurozone, the ECB meeting will take place on Wednesday. Thank you for your attention and see you next week for your 2 minutes of economy.
BNP Paribas, la banque d'un monde qui change.